Hey everyone, Congressman Brian Mast here again. This week we had a busy week on Capitol Hill between votes, 2 opportunities to speak on the House floor, and a number of different meetings with constituents who were here in town. I stayed busy. I tried to take advantage of every single minute that I had up here this week. Just so you know, to give you a little bit of background, our days are busy here. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. But my day usually starts about 5 a.m. I wake up. I hit the gym. I have a protein shake. I have meetings all morning. I go have some votes. I go over all the legislation that I've gone over in the days prior that I'm going to be voting on. We have more meetings all day long. Pretty much every half hour on the hour, we're having another meeting. We'll have another set of votes that are going on. Then we'll have more meetings all night long. Then, as most of you know, I get on Facebook. Try to get on Facebook every night and reply to you all. And so that'll be the last half hour. It's every day for me from about 5:30 a.m. till about 12:30 a.m. So we're working hard up here, and I'm loving it. So thank you. I also hosted our first telephone town hall where I had the opportunity to speak with thousands of people in our community over the phone. We talked maybe for about an hour and a half. I think about an hour and a half. I think we were only scheduled for about an hour, but we discussed most of the big issues that are facing our country, including healthcare, protecting the environment, helping veterans, foreign policy, and a lot more. For any of you that had difficulty getting on the call, I apologize. There wasn't any malice intent to do that. Sometimes these things just happen. I hope it helped that I stayed on for an extra 30 minutes because I know some people had that difficulty getting on in the first 30 minutes, so that's why we tried to stay on longer. We did that to accommodate those of you who had that difficulty and weren't able to join in the beginning, so I hope that helped. We're going to be doing a lot more of those, so keep your eye out for those. I enjoyed doing it, and I'm going to look forward to doing more. If you weren't able to join us, you can sign up for our newsletter to get notified of our next event when we do more town halls like this. The sign up is at mast.house.gov/newsletter. We're also working to finalize details on an in-person town hall, so keep an eye out for that. Sign up and pay attention to our Facebook. It's going to be coming up very, very soon here. I mentioned that I had 2 opportunities to speak on the House floor this week. One of those opportunities was Tuesday. I shared a very sad, a very unfortunate story of Hadar Golden. He's a soldier that served in the IDF. He was murdered by Hamas terrorists. His body was dragged out of Israel and has been held, essentially ever since. It's something that I've been working with his family to try to get his body returned. You're going to continue to see me working on that. I'm trying to do all I can. I didn't know Hadar personally, but when I was serving alongside the IDF, I did meet some of the most humble and compassionate people, just like Hadar. And when I heard of this situation, excuse me, I just saw it as completely unacceptable. And I know we as Americans were very in tune with what it is to have missing in action, as we still have thousands missing in action from our war in Vietnam, and also missing in action in Korea. It's something that touches my heart closely, and this one touched me, so it's one of those things that I wanted to try to use my voice for. Also, on Thursday, I spoke on the House floor about the opioid epidemic that's plaguing our community, that's really hurting our communities. I spoke to County Commissioner Melissa McKinley about this, before addressing this issue. I spoke to the sheriff of Martin County numerous times about this issue. It's something that, he tells me often that this is one of the biggest problems that they face, and if it weren't for the opioid epidemic, the need for them to go out there into the community on calls would be drastically less. So it's a major issue that we're facing. We can't forget the responsibility to the men and women who served in the military, and to make sure that they aren't left to fight the battles that they face because of what they encountered on the battlefield. We can't let them battle those things alone and be left really to just opioids as something that helped them get through those very rough periods of time. And so that's something that's very close to my heart as well. You're going to see me doing a lot of work on opioid epidemic. Congress passed a large bill to fight this issue, or is working to pass, a number of other bills as well. We've got to get the federal, the state, the local governments, we've got to get them all moving in the same direction. And if we can do that in a bipartisan way, I really think that we can make progress to save lives as it pertains to this particular epidemic. So I also want to tell you about a couple of votes that I took this week to help veterans. Beyond that, one of those bills, it was called the Wingman Act. The Wingman Act was a bill, I co-sponsored it it was something that I was looking at supporting since I took office. And what it does is it makes it easier for congressional staff, like my staff, to go out there and work in our office on all the issues that are facing veterans and helping to get our office better access to helping veterans with their benefits. It would do that by allowing staff to have a read-only access to veterans' records in the database of the VBA, the Veterans Benefits Administration. So if the veteran provides permission to a congressional office like my own for their records to be accessed, then we can do that. And it helps us to help them much more quickly. One of the other things that we did, we also passed the BRAVE Act, which actually allows the Secretary of the VA to give preference to government contractors who employ veterans. And I think that's a pretty great thing as well. This is a great bill to help incentivize the VA to use veterans and help more veterans find careers after they come back from overseas and they're transitioning out of the military. The last bill that I want to mention is the Hire Vets Act, and that tells the Department of Labor to establish a voluntary database of private businesses that hire veterans and recognize the businesses that are particularly supportive of veterans. Again, I think it's another great initiative. This is a great way to incentivize businesses to hire these veterans, to reduce the veteran unemployment rate, which frankly is unacceptable. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, really. So those are three of the bills that we passed this week. I think each one really plays an important role into serving our veterans, so I'm very proud of the work that we did on those. Next week, I'll be at home in our district all week meeting with constituents, touring businesses, having conversations with local elected officials on how we can work together to tackle some of the big problems in our area, in our community, especially when it comes to cleaning up our waterway. When I'm back home there in the district, my time is spent all day, every day, meeting with different groups, different stakeholders, different individuals, and just learning how I can represent you better, listening and having that conversation. So in the meantime, please feel free to call our Port St. Lucie office at 772-336-2877. We'll be happy to help you in any way. By the way, we're still working on getting our Stewart office set up and running. I know some of you have asked about that. One of the delays have been with the IT infrastructure setup that goes on there. And if you don't know, there are very certain requirements by the House of Representatives here in Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, their requirements are significantly more burdensome than just putting up an internet and phones anywhere else. So it takes a little while for them to get this system up and running. Even if there was a congressman that already sat in that location, it still can be very difficult for them to work. I know it's a problem that some of my other freshmen face across the districts that they're in, some of the other freshman members of Congress. A number of you have also asked about the options for an office in Palm Beach County, which is something that we're absolutely going to be doing. The office that was there in the past, it had a very high rent, and the reality is the budget that I'm given to run this office, this is your tax dollars. It's your hard-earned tax dollars, and so I looked at the price that was being paid for that office, and I decided it was simply way too expensive. So we're exploring more affordable options. One of the options that I was looking at very strongly was, hopefully being able to open one of our offices in the Palm Beach VA to not only because it's a great central area in Palm Beach County, but to be able to better serve our veterans. I think that being present is one of the most important ways to help any situation and to help our veterans. I really want one of our offices to be on the West Palm Beach VA campus, anywhere there that they're willing to give us space. That's where I would put it. And so hopefully the West Palm Beach VA will be willing to work with this. I think it would be a great thing for all the veterans there, and it would be a great thing for all the staff also to have access to our office, which is, I think it's a great thing. It helps everybody out in the end if we can work together in a more streamlined way, more quickly, and have that access to each other. So again, thanks for listening. and continuing to engage on Facebook with me. I enjoy it every night. You know, we don't always agree, but we get on there every night and we mix it up, and I hope we all learn something from each other. I know I always learn something from you all as I'm having these conversations, and I hope you all understand why it is that I'm taking the votes that I take when you ask me, hey, you know, why is it that you voted this way, or how could you vote on this? I hope I'm doing a good job of explaining these things. If I'm not, let me know, and we'll readdress those things if there's something more that I have to explain. So until then, I hope that you all have a great weekend. Enjoy it, and I'll look forward to seeing you all around the district in the next couple days. Take care.